Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Gary Smith, and welcome to the Storm Count. And boy, today has been very exciting for us Magic players. Not only has Marvel been banned, and we've had an announcement about Magic's digital presence coming, how MTGO is going to continue, but we are going to see a brand new game at HasCon in September, which is going to be fantastic to see, at least I hope. But we've also had four spoiler cards today from shops that have received their promotional products for Hour of Devastation earlier than they probably should have done. These cards are very interesting. Well, some of them are more interesting than others, so let's have a look at it. First up, we have Ramunap Excavator. Two and a green for a 2/3 Naga Cleric creature at rare. This seems to be the release weekend promo, the one you get for participating in an event on release weekend. And it's basically a Crucible Worlds on a stick because it says you may play land cards from your graveyard. This is very good for EDH at a minimum. I think Crucible Worlds is a fairly expensive card, and so EDH players getting an alternate way to have one is very good for casual play. And a second copy for the more competitive decks, again, one that's more tutorable, maybe in green decks, is very, very interesting. The fact there's all these land interaction cards, we had the one from Shadows of an Innistrad block where it returned all lands from the graveyard to the battlefield tapped, and I believe we had one recently in Amonkhet that put lands into play tapped for each land you controlled. I think for each tapped each tap creature you control, you put a land into play for those. So that again was fairly interesting. And it seems to be they're playing with this kind of land space, but hopefully this kind of means that maybe we're going to be getting some sort of land kill or land destruction or something like that, which would be interesting to see. Next up, we have Wildfire Eternal. Three and a red for a 1/4 zombie jackal cleric. Oh my goodness, that fits into three tribal decks or two zombies and clerics with jackal in there for measure. Oh, this card is interesting to see. It has afflict 4, and afflict is a keyword where afflict X, and whenever this creature becomes blocked, the person that controls the creature that's blocking loses 4 life. Or better yet, let's read the actual wording. Whenever this creature becomes blocked, defending player loses 4 life, or X life, where X is the afflict number, so in this case 4. And it looks like all of them will have a when they're not blocked trigger. So when Wildfire Eternal attacks and isn't blocked, you may cast a instant or sorcery card from your hand without paying its mana cost. We've seen something similar to this in Theros, actually, which is this is very reminiscent. That was a Minotaur that when it entered the battlefield, you could tribute it. If you didn't tribute, they got to cast an instant sorcery for free. Otherwise, you just put a bunch of counters on it, I think was what it was. This is still a very interesting card. Don't know where it's from. It's rare, but I don't know if it's a participation promo or something. I'm not sure. He definitely has it in a pack from promos though in the photo. So I don't know what it would be for. Maybe buy a box, but they're normally alt art or full art with weird symbols on it. So I'm not certain about this card. It's definitely interesting and definitely a great limited card. Constructive playability though really depends. Afflict definitely seems like a fairly powerful ability, especially on creatures with high toughness that don't die when they get blocked, but also have great abilities when they don't get blocked, which makes the punishment behind them fairly powerful. I'm not a big fan of punishing cards that do different things depending on how your opponent chooses to interact with them. But Wildfire Eternal is definitely one of the more interesting, maybe casual, but still most interesting of the cards. Next up, we have our game day promos, and these cards are fantastic. One, because it's just a great card. We know everything about what it does, it just looks gorgeous. And the other is a gorgeous artwork card that we have very little idea what it does on face value. So first up, the participation promo, and this is my favourite card today. One and a red for an instant at uncommon, gorgeous full art as well, that says choose one of these two modes. Abrade deals 3 damage to target creature, or destroy target artifact. Okay, when they said removal was getting better with Hour of Devastation, they've kind of outdone themselves. This card is incredibly powerful. For one and a red, you either kill every creature in Mardu, apart from Gideon, or destroy an artifact from Mardu. This basically says destroy target Mardu. This is very close to a card I really wanted to see, which was Rakdos Charm. But boy, in the new standard format we're going to be having in Hour of Devastation, I think this is going to be better than Rakdos Charm. So roll on a Braid. This is fantastic. And my Grixis control deck I'm brewing in my head is probably going to love this. Then we have the Pouncing Cat. The Adorned Pouncer. The artwork of this is gorgeous, by the way. 1 and a white for a 1/1 at rare. Creature type cat with double strike and Eternalize for 3 white. We have no idea what Eternalize does because they've removed the rules or reminder text from this card because it's a full art. Interesting. I know a lot of people are going to be guessing what it's done. I've seen a lot of people guessing that it turns it into an aura token that attaches to a creature. So it's like you exile the creature and put the a token onto on something that says like this creature gets +1/+1 and double strike, which definitely seems powerful, but I don't think it seems top 8 games day worthy. My personal opinion, the fact that it's a top 8 full art games day promo, and I know people are disagreeing with this, but I'm going to put it out there now just in case I'm right. When you will pay 3 white, exile this from the graveyard to get an enchantment or artifact, I'm not certain which, probably artifact with the way the set's got construction or whatever, and Eternalize seems more like a statue thing. So you'll get an artifact, probably, with all creatures you control get double strike, and maybe even +1/+1, but mostly I think double strike. Yes, it sounds very powerful, but it is a top 8 rare that you expect to see some play, and while they've not been great at gauging the playability of those kind of cards before, remember what this is at base. It's a 1/1 with double strike for 2, which seems almost unplayable in standard right now. With Heart of Kieran and all the other creatures in play, this seems fairly mediocre. So the fact that you can play this, get 2 damage a turn from it if you get through, put equipment on it maybe, then maybe some good equipment in this set, who knows? Or, at the very least, you just get to give all your stuff double strike later down the game. I definitely think this is powerful. I also like the wording of this, Eternalize and not Immortalize. One, I think maybe Immortalize is a card name, which is maybe why they've not done it. But I also think that Eternalize suggests it's not immortalizing a thing, but rather is eternalizing a concept. So yes, you'll see this on creatures, Eternalize, for whatever cost you exile them from the graveyard, it's quite likely, and it does something. But I'm almost certain this could, well, I'm not certain, but I would love to see this on non-creature cards. The wording of it as well, if it does exile itself and create a non-creature token of some sort, that does allow it to appear on things like spells, like a lightning bolt that eternalizes and gives stuff. I don't know how they'll do it. I really don't know how it would be done. And obviously if Eternalize just gives the keyword, then obviously it will probably just stick to creatures with it. But you have to remember this is probably something that will appear at common and uncommon. So it'll be interesting to see what Eternalize actually is. I think the Aura one probably makes most sense, but I would love to see the thing that just gives everything a big bonus. Or maybe it turns into an equipment that you give to your another Adorned Pouncer to give it +1/+1 and double strike again. Who knows? Anyway, that is today's video, or this video at least. Hopefully I'll be doing one later on the ban announcement and its impact on Standard. So stay tuned for that. But anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.